This week in comic books, I actually enjoyed everything I read. I I really have nothing snarky to say at the beginning of this. This channel's going to Hey, what's going on, you wonderful weirdos and Pocan Joe? And as always, you're pretty cool for swinging by. I love having you here. So, like I said in the beginning, yeah, weird week. I literally have nothing snarky or awkward to say about any of these books. I genuinely enjoyed everything that I read. It's almost like somebody, like editors, are rising up in the industry and like, I will proofread your stuff before it is printed. Ah. All right, let's talk about this week's comic books. First, right up off the bat, it was Infinite Frontier. Now, mind you, I was getting a little with this in the last issue. It was like, it just wasn't that good. Like they're just making it way too complicated. Well, they streamed all that out real quick, Bubba, with Psycho Pirate and Darkseid showing up at the end, all raw, I'm the bad guy in this, ha ha ha. Which it was been hinted at, but it was good to finally see that connection and why those two are together. And also the Death Lantern guy, the Black Lantern, right? Roy Harper, right? He's like, rah! But now he's got chains around him. A lot of rah this week. So yeah, it was a super cool story. It's really great. I love how, like, no matter how many of these teams are popping up to do some damage, it's like just getting laid out for them. Psycho Pirate's laying it out, and Darkseid's coming. And I really like some Darkseid as a villain. So I'm super excited about that. A lot of little twists in here too. I don't want to spoil it too much because it's still pretty early. But yeah, if you haven't picked up your comic books yet, you may just want to take a glance at this. I would almost say you wouldn't need all the other issues to pop right into this, right? You know there's a conflict already. You know superheroes are involved. But who are the villains and how is it connected and what's the effect of it all? And that's where this is going. And this is really good. All right, next. Fear State finally launched. I know we've been excited about it, but we kind of already know the ending of this too, don't we? Like just a little bit. It's all future state stuff, right? Like we know this story already. But maybe not in the detail that they're giving it in. So that's fine. So Simon Saint finally shuts everything down. Like he's in charge now. The mayor's written off for him to be the ultimate, force guy. But then we find out that he's actually been working with Crane. Scarecrow. They're like actually working together, and they're doing something interesting. It's fear theory, and it's a legit thing that's been practiced over the years. And the tactics they're using are very similar to tactics that would be used today if you like wanted to put the kibosh on, let's say, a country that's just getting a little out of hand. So you kind of stress everybody out really bad, this constant state of fear, and then when the first thing that would almost seem like a hero comes along, but the truth is that by nature the hero in this case is actually the suppressor who allowed all this stuff to happen and takes away things from you, like freedoms, privacy, things like that. You're just trading fractions at that point. And it's because people have been living in fear for so long, or in such a high state of fear, I should say. So this is actually like real world stuff going on in here. Well, not even hypothetically. It's kind of real world situational in here. Just the whole toxic gas and all that's ridiculous. But I really love the whole red flag operation, the fake oracle coming out, the tell the people just to settle down. I didn't even mind the backstory here with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. I thought that was interesting, and the whole insanity. I wish we'd get some more about the insanity and their actual belief in here, as it hasn't really been explained or hashed out that much. But for the most part, I enjoyed it. Moving on, I love me some Batman Superman. It's classic storytelling, and even more so in this one as we go into the world of tomorrow, meshing with the grittiness of Gotham there, and our heroes switch places to kind of use their talents in a better array here. And it's just golden age, early silver age type storytelling where you get your hero epic stances and it's classic, and each one thinks the other one's kind of weird, like the Metropolis Gordon right? He's like, dude's a little dark, isn't he? Like, and then like the other one is, why is Superman like always happy? Like, this is Gotham, we'll eat you up and spit you out. You know, it was really cool. And then what they did is, since the book kind of reads like this, right? I thought that was cool. So you get two stories in here technically, but then they all kind of meet up in their little mesh up there, and that's really cool. It was really smart. It was playing into the last series. So I enjoyed that. I wouldn't mind reading some more of this. I hope they bring more of this kind of stuff out. I found it entertaining. All right, next, Teen Titans. So we're on a Scooby-Doo mystery. And even at some point, the ragdoll girl, she makes everybody look like Scooby-Doo characters. As silly as this is, and as much whimsy is thrown into this, it's actually a pretty good story. I mean, what else are you going to do when you have Gorilla Grodd, and his nephew? Like running a city with mind control, right? That's supposed to be a kind of whimsical, fantasy type story. But then you get this really cool kind of artwork like this, where everything just really bright and shines, and I really liked it. I like the dialogue of the kids in here. I've always liked the dialogue and the way it's written for Teen Titans. It sounds like something kids would say. And of course, there was a couple of things in there. I'm an old man, right? And I listen to kids talk, and I'm like, oh my God, you really believe that, right? And then I read a comic book, and I see those same phrases in it, and I'm like, oh, no, this is a thing. So fair enough. All right, Aquaman. So I've never been an Aquaman fan. I think being able to talk to fish is stupid. like attack catfish, or whatever a catfish says, like comes out of the water and slaps you. I don't get it, right? Not everything can be a shark or a whale, but in this one, all the stories kind of dealt more with like the family, right? Rather that family be, him and Mira or his mom or relationships. I think is the best way to put it. A lot to deal with relationships and the effects of relationships. Which is weird for Aquaman. Really, they probably couldn't have made it anybody else. But a lot of this had to do with that kind of stuff. But even then, I'm not like going to down this. It was still pretty good storytelling for the most part. Maybe just not my cup of tea. But it was alright. And there's a lot of stories in there. I think that one literally has the most stories crammed into it, which makes it even more interesting. Alright, so Sinister War. So, yay, this ended. Kind of, sort of. Okay. So all these Sinister Six teams are just, again, putting it on old Peter Parker there all over town, like in the worst kind of way. And finally his friend, or his once friend, Boomerang, right? He's like, no, don't hurt my friend. And the bad guy was like, oh, crush you, and like killed him. Like sucked his essence out of him. It was that vampire dude that likes to hunt down the spider people. Right? Just drains his essence is what they say. I don't know what essence is supposed to be, but we'll just say he's dead, right? And yeah, he's kind of a douchey kind of character the entire time. I didn't really much care for him, but it was still kind of sad to see him go. And then all of a sudden, Doc Ock is like, hey, I figured out how to get this earworm thing that's controlling all of us out of mine, and I'm going to shut down everybody else's, right? So the hero wasn't the hero in this one. Doc Ock was? Boomerang? Which was weird. But it's ended. It's moving on to the next one. The only reason why I can't really talk bad about this is legit, it's a good story. Yeah, hero's got to get beaten down to be able to get back up, and he's going after Kindred again. And, like, that just happened, and it wasn't particularly interesting. So it was kind of good to kind of break away from the main storyline a little bit, because it's getting a little draggy and kind of weird. I don't really care about it. Next. Ooh, yeah. All right, pick of the week, right? Dark Ages. This is going to be, like, epic storytelling. I know it. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize. I won't give you your money back. But it's going to be good. Because we got this great Peter Parker family unit here. They even got a baby, right? The baby's got his superpowers. It's climbing on the walls, like, literally. It's awesome. And then all of a sudden the Watcher shows up and he's like, oh, the world's gonna end because there's this thing from a long, long time ago at the core of the earth and it's finally awoken. Right? and it's going to break through the crust of the earth from the inside out, right? So, superheroes being superheroes, they're like, hey, let's get a team together and go wop up on this thing, right? Well, easier said than done. And then, Doctor Strange, opens up this portal, and there just happens to be a world that is, filled with EMP, electronic magnet pulse, no, EMP. I feel like I should know what that means. Electric magnetic pulse, yeah. Right? And it, immediately he opens up the portal, he dies, so he can't close it. So, all this EMP energy. Now, whoever wrote this, a little bit of woo-woo there. It's not exactly how it works. But we'll go with it because it's so great. It comes and just wipes out all the electronics on Earth. So, no web slinging, no Iron Man suits, all the mechanical, electrical MacGuffins that can possibly be used in a comic book are wiped off the board. And I'm on board with that because that means everything's going to get savage. When you take away people's toys, right? Their fancy toys, they tend to get a little savage, like little children. And, it's going to be awesome. And we're going to see some cool stuff. And I'm excited about this one. Definitely jump on board with this one. I don't like telling people to jump on board. I feel awkward doing it. But, take a look at it. If you're into comic books, which you are if you're watching this. But, yeah. Check it out. I think you'll like it. The artwork is stunning in it. It's just very easy on the eyes. And we're going to go back to Stone Age. It's going to be awesome. All right. Speaking of the world falling apart, Telepath comes out. This is kind of weird. Again, a little woo-woo. And there's a scientist guy in here. He's like, I don't believe in supernatural woo-woo. And I was like, oh my God. Did somebody put me in a comic book? That was awesome. But a little science woo-woo in here as well. All right, so big solar flare happens to the sun, hits the earth. Everybody passes out for 30 minutes. And some people, as everybody's kind of, now mind you, that's, pilots flying planes, people walking down the road, whatever the case may be. So a lot of chaos ensues, right, when everybody goes night-night. They're out. And then, they start waking back up, and, some people are all of a sudden telepaths. They're super psychic people, right? And I like the concept of it. I'm glad it wasn't everybody because that wouldn't put any real push on the story. But the people that we kind of focused on in here, we're going to get little glimpses of their lives because we got glimpses of their lives before the big event. And, it's all kind of crappy. There's some good stuff going on, but there's some real crappy stuff going on. And now they can read people's minds. And, oh, man, now you find out just how horrible human beings really are when you know their thoughts because that's where you hide, right? And that's, how many times you're like, oh, hey, it's great to see you. And you're like, oh, why did they have to come, right? So, see, you're a horrible person. So, yeah, we're going to get a lot of that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of on board with that. And that's legitimately the end of my haul. I've kept this one super short for you. Thank you for your time. Thanks for swinging by. Don't forget about Blaster or Stash at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the old YouTubes. Myself, Huey, Spectacular Spider, Grandpa. We're going to talk about these books, and they're probably bringing more to the table this week. So definitely come on in. We have a live chat. Share your thoughts and your opinions, whatever the case may be. We love having you there. Evil Air Project, we're getting started on it. We're looking at things to figure out how they go together. In other words, I'm learning how to make a laser. That was a much easier way to say that. So we're working on that, and Huey's going to be down here on the 25th, so hopefully if everything works out, we'll be able to test it while he's down here, maybe do a live something or other. I don't know. Keep your eyes open. If you hit that notification bell down there, you'll definitely know when it's happening. All right, guys. I got nothing else. I got to get out of here. I'm watching Trailer Park Boys. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.